President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He warned last March of potential death and destruction if he were charged by the Manhattan District Attorney. Our country is being destroyed as they tell us to be peaceful. Trump in January warned of bedlam in the country if the criminal charges against him succeeded. And of course, in March, he said, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. He said he was partly joking and that was taken out of context. But those are indeed his words. And you have heard it from supporters as well. And supporters are certainly in some parts angry. And let's remember January 6th.
Okay, so last night Joe Biden gave a speech regarding the Trump assassination attempt. This was take two, because the first time it happened, he came out there like he was fresh from a nap, all bumbly, gave a very, very generic speech. Didn't help the situation at all. He was kind of pushing the issue on both sides. All we need to calm down the speech and the rhetoric, and we're against all political violence, instead of focusing on the Democrats pushing insane lunatics into doing what they did, into trying to assassinate Trump. So he was heavily criticized for that. And I'm like, he's a decrepit old man anyway. He's a face for the oligarchs because he's not making any decisions. So they kind of pushed him out there, and you know he needs to be on his meds to be talking anyway. So now we're going to react to take two. I haven't seen this, but it was released last night. They got him better prepared, had more days to come up with some type of speech, drug him up a bit, put some makeup on him, don't have him looking like he has one foot in the grave, even though it's really hard for that. But before we get into that, I just want to address some of my thoughts on this thing. The more I look at this, it looks like it may be some type of inside job, or it may be some going on, because the FBI has stated that this is a lone wolf, acted alone, nobody else involved, nothing to see here, let's just move on with our lives. But when you look at all the evidence, like the letter over here, him finding the perfect position, the police ignoring the warnings, the Secret Service ignoring the warnings of the crowd, and allegedly that officer saying that he didn't get word to take out the gunman. When you look at all of this compiling, it looks like something is going on. But I'm not going to focus too much on the shooter, because I don't give a shit. I don't care about the shooter. I don't care who he is, what his name is, what he looks like, because he's just a front man. There are larger powers behind this, and investigating this guy's background. Let's check his phone. I don't give a shit, because he's just a lunatic who actually pulled the trigger. But there are people more evil than that scumbag behind him who want to see Trump dead. And the media, like I saw that clip at the beginning, they're trying to blame Trump for this. Oh, well, it's Trump's fault because Trump is evil and he's talking all this evil crap about Democrats and about the country. Therefore, somebody tried to kill him. It's not the Democrats, like I showed that montage in the other video. It's not the Democrats constantly making threats, talking about they want to shoot Trump, he needs to be dead, he's a dictator, all that. It's not the Democrats' fault, it's the Republicans' fault. It's Trump's fault for doing it. Trump was shot in the ear, nearly assassinated because of stuff that he says. Completely ridiculous. And they're even trying to blame it on the fact that the lunatic, the shooter, was a registered Republican, even though there are many, many, many registered Republicans who are never Trumpers and far left liberals. We see them on TV. They're on talk shows. They have their own TV shows where they are declaring themselves to be Republican, but they're full-blown Democrats. So it means absolutely nothing. And the fact that this guy walked around for years with a COVID mask, that right there alone, you walking around in broad daylight in 2024 by yourself with a COVID mask, you ain't no Republican. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Let's go ahead and see what the hell Biden is talking about.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors. We're friends, co-workers.
Now, he's talking about lowering the temperature, right? This is the same guy who just within the last week, he was at a private donor meeting, with a lot of rich people, even though the Democrats claim to hate rich people. But he was receiving money from his donors, and he said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. Let's lower the temperature. Trump is a dictator. He's dirt. He's evil. He's scum. He's Hitler. But I'm glad he's okay. Let's lower the temperature. The Democrats. Where's John Wilkes Booth when you need him? Oh, let's lower the temperature. Oh my God. Trump is a threat to democracy. If you see him at a gas station or you see him at a restaurant, you get in their face. Oh, but let's lower the temperature. These Democrats are evil. Completely evil scum.
Citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke to him last night. I'm grateful.
Former Trump.
He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero.
Crap like this, man, it kind of irks my nerves about politicians, especially empty suit politicians like Joe Biden, who's nothing but all talk and no action. Just look at him. He's not looking at the camera because his eyes are locked in on the teleprompter. Now, it's cool during certain occasions for you to use a teleprompter, but if it's some tragic moment where you need to speak from the heart and get the country united, why the fuck are you reading from a teleprompter? These aren't even your words. Somebody wrote some speech for you. You don't give a shit in actuality, but you have to save face because of your position. You have to say this stuff. But truthfully, you don't give a flying fuck about the life of Trump. In fact, y'all might have a hand in it. So this guy is sitting here reading from a teleprompter, but it's supposed to unite the country. Who wrote this? Whose speech is this? And do you even care? No, you don't.
Sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers. Earlier today, I spoke about an ongoing investigation. We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support or if he communicated with anyone else.
Yeah, okay.
Law enforcement professionals, as I speak, are investigating those questions. Tonight, I want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed.
Camera's over here, man.
Exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer. Whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th, or a brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials.
So this guy just gave a list of accusations, mostly accusations against the Republicans for what they consider violence. He mentions January 6th, which was nonsense, which is a hoax. Like Trump said, it is a full-blown hoax. And I'm not even going to get into the details of that right now. The Paul Pelosi situation, Nancy Pelosi, they say it was some right-wing lunatic trying to kill Nancy Pelosi. In actuality, we know what it was. Paul Pelosi had his boy toy there. He was some homeless crackhead. But these politicians do all types of vile stuff, including some old, decrepit, corrupt politician having a boy toy in the middle of the night, and things went haywire because the motherfucker is sick. Paul Pelosi is sick, but his boy toy had some mental issues, and they were on some dope, getting drunk or whatever. But anyways, I'm getting down the rabbit hole with that. The point is, we had BLM marching the streets, the Summer Love, Antifa. These people, after George Floyd died and during these lockdowns, when the Democrat governors locked down their states, these people got so frustrated, went around burning up their own cities. It was Democrats doing that. He doesn't mention this. We had just 2 years ago, year and a half ago, when Brett Kavanaugh was nearly assassinated by a Democrat. Guy drove across the country to kill a Supreme Court justice. Why aren't you talking about that? When Steve Scalise, one of the Republican congressional leaders, was nearly assassinated, shot, critical condition by a Democrat. Where's the information about that? Burning down churches, beating up old ladies. I think it was some old lady was beat up by some hooligans because she was a Trump supporter. But you're not going to mention that. So he talks about unity, but at the same time, he's extremely divisive because he's just pointing the finger at MAGA, pointing the finger at the Republican Party. The media is right now, as we speak, trying to blame Trump for this incident, acting like they're completely innocent, have no parts in it. Then Biden gets here with his fake ass teleprompter speech written by somebody else, and he's just reading it, saying, yeah, it's MAGA. All our problems, unity, violence, is all MAGA. If you're a Democrat, you're completely fine. If you're some Antifa clown, you're completely fine. If you participate in the summer love, broke into gas stations, burned down buildings, pharmacies, burned down a police station in Minneapolis, oh, you're completely fine. But if you voted for Trump, you're the problem. This guy is a scumbag, man. Screw this guy. That's why I have no sympathy. He's old, decrepit. His mind is shot. He may have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, whatever's going on. I have zero sympathy. He got incontinence, can't hold his shit in. I don't care. Because this pedophile scumbag is doing nothing but dividing the country. He spent decades enriching himself off the backs of the taxpayers. And now he's in this position as an empty suit clown. And all he's doing is causing further division, while at the same time pretending that he wants unity.
Or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever.
Oh yeah, what I didn't get to also was all the overseas violence. We could talk about Libya, Gaddafi being assassinated. We can talk about people in South America. And this is just not Biden. This is just U.S. foreign policy. We can talk about violence, political violence waged by the American government against other countries for decades. But they're talking about, oh, political violence has no place. When the very core of a lot of y'all money in the military industrial complex and stuff like that is built off of political violence. But that's a rabbit hole too.
Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that millions of my fellow Americans believe it as well. And some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face a time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution and the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America.
You know what the House should do? The House of Representatives should impeach Biden for inciting an attempted assassination, because Trump told those people on J6, he said, peacefully let your voices be heard, right? When they went down to the Capitol. And they said, you incited an insurrection. Even though you said peacefully let your voices be heard, it's your fault. So we're going to say, Biden, even though you're reading somebody else's written speech off a teleprompter and say unity is no place for this, we should say, well, you incited this. You incited this assassin to do what he did. You and Kamala Harris need to be impeached for inciting the attempted murder of former President Trump. Will the House have the cojones to do that? Will they have the guts? Hell no. Republicans are soft as hell.
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it. At the battle box? Not with bullets. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it. What's made America so special?
Make America great again? Is that what you're getting at? What's on the teleprompter right now? Yeah, you're right. Put in Trump, vote Trump, make America great again. Yeah, let's do that. But shout out to Trump, though, for taking the bullet for the people. And I know it's RNC week, and Trump's been on the campaign trail working hard. I just want him to take a week off, man. You went through a traumatic event. You've been working really hard. You're 70-some years old. Maybe you need to take a week off, because I am concerned about fatigue and his mental health. And this man took a bullet and was out of the hospital really quickly, went to an event. I think he went to Texas and had to immediately go up to Milwaukee for the RNC. So he probably needs just a little R&R time to recharge himself, because he was shot. But yeah, make America great again. Vote Trump, man. We don't need to listen to any more of this. Whoever wrote this speech, I don't know. I don't give a damn. But Biden is a clown, man. He's a full-blown hypocrite. Oh, let's unite the country, but Republicans are demons. And Democrat media right now is blaming Trump. You can get on ABC News, especially them, CNN, and the left-wing deranged lunatics on MSNBC. Then you have people on TikTok, Instagram, completely disappointed. Why didn't Trump die? And that's probably the problem with these news outlets, too, like New York Times with their BS headlines, CNN with their BS headlines online. They're probably just disappointed because they were ready to celebrate. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Trump is assassinated. They were ready to celebrate, but they missed. So now they're extremely disappointed, and they have to find some kind of way to try to shift the blame off of them, because they know they incited this with their horrible rhetoric over the last several years, calling Trump a dictator. He's evil. He's about to destroy the country, stuff like that, and the Democrat leadership too. But yeah, that's that speech by this clown Joe Biden, an empty suit, do nothing politician, enriching himself and doing nothing for the people. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.